I cannot believe I didn't know this game existed for almost 2 years. Thank you to Aska for sponsoring this video. Obviously, I am being paid to make this video, but damn am I glad they reached out because I genuinely had such a fun time with this game and I wouldn't have even known it existed if they hadn't contacted me. Let's jump into my first day and see what it was all about. We start off on a shipwreck where we see this big guy. Okay. Anyway, I collected the Jotun's blood from the beach because you need 5 of this to summon your first villager, and then I set off exploring the island. I need to find somewhere flat-ish, relatively safe, and surrounded with resources. This turned out to be quite the ass because I spent the entire day looking for my base. Let's try getting up to some higher ground. We can see trees on the map on the top right there. We probably want to build like just on the edge of a forest. Like between these two forests could be good if the land's looking pretty good, maybe. Get some berries for food. Grab some sticks from these little bushes. We should also be picking up stones, and I always forget to pick up stones, so I'm going to press Y, and that's going to highlight resources around me. There's a stone. Right, so let's craft a bunch of rope, a couple of stone blades, or just one stone blade. Let's make... Can I make a pickaxe? No, I need a second stone blade, so we need to find more stones. Because I'm going inland so soon, I am going to prioritize the pickaxe first, because getting stones is really annoying. We've leveled up our gathering. What is that over there? Oh god, there's a wolf. We should probably get away from here. We got some onions. Oh no, this is garlic, which is just small onions. Don't argue with me, it's science, trust me. Craft up another stone blade, and then get myself a stone pick. Here we go. That'll help quite a bit. Pick up those. There we go, some more stones. And craft a stone axe. Oh, Jesus Christ. This is like the opposite of a thing I want to build near. A Draugr field. No, leave me alone. Ah! That one has a bow. He's very fast. But I'm too slippery. This place is a fucking nightmare. Oh, hey, this looks pretty good. We've got some flat land, a well, and a lake. Alright, so we need... First of all, we probably need a hoe, which requires what again? Sticks and a sharp blade. Okay. Make a hoe, make a hammer, and then we're going to build a simple fire, and then we're going to open this up, and... Oh, we need more sticks. Hang on. Oh, there's a water source right here as well. Perfect. There's 2. Alright. Sticks. Let's upgrade this to an actual campfire. We will need some stones. So with my base location finally found, I started by gathering up some stone, cut down a tree, upgraded my campfire, and started building a simple shelter. This would provide a place to sleep. When it was done, I took a nap. It doesn't speed up time or anything like in other games, but it does give me a stamina boost. Nap time over, it was time to build the Eye of Odin. This structure can be given the Jotun's blood I mentioned earlier to summon a random settler. You get to see 2 of their 5 traits, with the other 3 being potentially good or bad. I chose Inga because she had an effect that was good for gatherers, and the next building I was planning on building was the Gatherer's Pit. She'd arrive in 3 minutes, so I got to building that Gatherer's Pit right away. This building, when assigned with a settler, will allow them to collect basic food items like berries, mushrooms, eggs, and resources like seeds and fibers. This would serve as the first tier of food collection for my new town. It is worth noting though that this building does need actual resources around it for it to actually work, because the villagers actually do go out and slowly clear the resources out of the areas you're in. It's not like in, say, Medieval Dynasty where villagers just generate resources out of thin air depending on their skill. You need to actually provide them with work areas, protect them while they're working, and assign new areas and patrols as you expand, and potentially worry about things like sustainability in the long run. When Inga arrived, she was unassigned, and unassigned settlers automatically become builders, who will attempt to build and repair nearby structures using resources nearby or in your storages, and they'll even light fires as they go around. She made this process a little bit faster. Inga was awful at logging, but her other traits were otherwise fine. I assigned her to the gathering hut and then gave her that one shelter I had built, and she immediately went out gathering various foods and resources. I set her hours so that she would be asleep for 6 hours, have 4 hours of leisure, and then working for the rest of her time. At this point I was getting thirsty, so I built a rain collector and immediately destroyed it. You see, you need to make a rain collector just to unlock the well, and a well is a much better source of water than a rain collector if you can and make one, so I just skipped to it. Wells are limited in the sense that they have to be built on water sources, but they are everywhere, so the rain collector is somewhat niche, at least in this biome. With food and water sorted out, I went to hunt down some more Jotun's blood to summon a second villager. On day 3, I set down the footprint for a woodcutter's pit and a new shelter, and Yuna started building these when she arrived. Yuna was actually very good for farming, so I'd reassign her later when the farm was unlocked. I focused on felling trees and cracking rocks so that the builder could come over and transfer them over manually and actually build the structures. Builders can take any nearby resources, but they can't actually cut down the trees or break the rocks. That's where woodcutters and stonecutters come in. After putting down this new marker, the gatherer would come out and strip the world of anything else she could find. Another shelter down, and I went to find more Jotun's blood for more settlers. I need to get a stonecutter, woodcutter, and gatherer up as soon as possible to unlock the next tier of resource huts and then unlock better housing. I immediately got a stonecutter set down for the builder to make and then rushed out a workshop for better tools as well. As day 3 closed, I started summoning my third villager and then built a large stone pickaxe and axe at the new workshop. These would allow me to collect large rocks and logs from big trees, respectively, which are needed to build the higher level buildings. By the way, if you like what you see in today's video, you can check out the game on Steam right now using the link in the comments and in the description, especially since it just got a new update, the Hearth and Honey update. This features a new production chain for the game centered around beekeeping and brewing your own mead. I mean, what's a Viking without mead, right? It has new statistics screens to better track your resources. It features 2 new buildings in the brewery and the bee house, has some new upgrades for various buildings as well, like the tier 3 tavern house, and Hearth and Honey is the latest update following 8 major updates since the game's release in 2024, and there's probably a lot more to come. It normally costs about $25, they're running a 20% off sale right now, so now is a fantastic time to jump into Aska. So check the link below to get 20% off between April 20th and May 4th for the ultimate Viking Colony Sim / survival game. Again, thank you to Aska for sponsoring this video. On day 4, I left the new settler as a builder and set Yuna to be a woodcutter since the new guy was bad at logging and I needed more wood. With no time to lose, apparently I went straight into upgrading the woodcutter's pit into the woodcutter's hut, which is the upgraded version, which gives you more storage and allows you to store higher level building materials. With the woodcutter providing wood and my builder doing all the labor, it was built in a few in-game hours. 1 down, 3 to go. The stonecutter hut was next. I didn't really need a stonecutter because I didn't have enough villagers to work that tile. It was useful to have stone storage because of course they're heavy, but also you need to unlock later technologies anyway, so I was just getting out of the way right now. While building it, I had to build yet another resource marker for the gatherer because she was apparently just so good at clearing things out. The builder finished upgrading the stonecutter hut while I was away, and I immediately put him to work on the gatherer's hut upgrade as well. And by the end of the day, I had built all 3 huts and unlocked the cottage. These are a big upgrade compared to the basic shelters and take up less space for the beds you can cram in them. On day 5, as the builder did the shit work on the cottage, I started placing a ghost for a fence around the town. We need that because there is a pest in this game called smokers. These fat rodents eat literally everything they can, even sticks. They do not care. So you need to protect your town from them or they will rinse your town for resources, especially bad if they eat all your food reserves or your seed reserves, just before winter especially. We can't let that happen, so we need a simple fence all the way around to keep pests out, which is a really fun simulation detail in my opinion. Each fence piece needs a piece of rope, which my builder can't make himself, so I had to make like 100 rope and then walk around pressing Y on all the fences to supply it so that the builder could go around and actually do the really annoying part of holding X on 100 fence pieces for like 10 seconds each. I was not going to be doing that. That is NPC work, literally. During the night of day 5, we experienced the first Blood Moon. Now, as someone with 4,000 hours in that other zombie defense Blood Moon game, I naturally handled it with no issues. It was 3 zombies, but still, a flawless victory is a flawless victory. These attacks happen periodically throughout the game to test your defenses, and on my test playthrough, which was about 4 hours long before this, it did happen like every 3 to 4 days, but during this playthrough, for whatever reason, it only happened once. Though after the recording, as I was just playing casually, it did happen again, and that was much scarier. There was like 3 waves, there was a bunch of zombies, there was Draugr with bows. It was horrifying, but I did survive with the help of the guard that I would be setting up later, and a lot of onions. I will not be explaining the onion thing. You can discover that yourself in Aska. On day 6, it was time for war, so I built a barracks, assigned a villager to become a guard, and gave her a comically large club to train with. This would of course save my life later on when the other Blood Moon came. I gave her a patrol point, and that made it so that all my structures were covered by a defender, meaning that all the people felt safer and could work harder, gaining me more resources, or at least resources more efficiently. I spent the rest of the day supplying my fences so the builder could finish them off over time, and next we need a second house and of course the fundamental of human civilization, a farm. Or we can starve to death. We're already having minor food issues as it is. The gatherer herself tells me she's not having the food supply she wants. I don't know why she's complaining to me about it. It's her job to collect it. My sister in Odin, you are the grocery shopper here. On day 7, I got the farm up, and I actually couldn't work it yet because I needed more people. The farm can have 3, what I'm going to call farm plots, of up to 16 farm tiles each. So you can have like 4x4s, or 2x8s, or even just a 1x16, whatever you need, just as long as it's vaguely square or rectangular and has no more than 16 cells. And you can have no more than 3 of these groups of cells. At the end of the day, I crafted some rakes and prepared for my farmers. I also started construction on my next college and just left the builder to finish the fight while I went out and collected more Jotun's blood to grow the settlement again. On day 8, we got a new villager, and I set him to become a woodcutter and then reassigned one of my older villagers to become a farmer since she had good stats for it. I assigned one plot to flax all year round because medieval dynasty and someone who had already played Aska told me to. Good soldiers follow orders. The rest I set to grow a variety of different foods since I only had a small amount of seeds from the picky gatherer woman, so I didn't want to be overly dependent on any of them. I spent the day hunting more Jotun's blood and then added more beds to my second cottage, and I could now support up to 8 villagers, which is enough to do everything I wanted to do for the first stage of my town's development. Now, a thing about farming is that it takes a fair bit of water to keep going, so to ensure I didn't run out, I spent the night building wells, so I'd have way more water than I'd need. Another villager arrived and I assigned them to the farm as well. I figured 2 would be enough to maintain all that land, especially since one of them was very good at farming. As far as I could actually tell, I was correct. I had one of the farmers set to nighttime so that they'd keep weeding throughout the night, which once again I'm told is a good idea. By the morning of day 9, my fence was finally constructed, but there was one problem. It had a hole, which the map very conveniently tells you by showing you these little warning signs. I went over and fiddled with my flimsy stick until it was completely secure. We were now fully protected against the rodent menace. As an added layer of protection, I had actually built this settlement somewhere I had not seen any smokers, but the thing is, the game does send smokers to you either way to make sure you've got some pest fences up, so I wasn't taking any chances. For the rest of day 9, I didn't actually do much. I was kind of just looking around, proud of my tiny settlement. I built a road and ran around thinking of what I would do next. I eventually settled on building a fisherman's hut since I was kind of worried about food still. Since we live next to a lake, I figured that would be a smart food resource to make use of. I left that to the builder and ran out to the coast to collect mussels for a temporary food solution and found more Jotun's blood. On day 10, I just kept summoning new villagers and finally finished that fisherman's hut. I made some tools to keep it running, i.e. a fishing rod, and assigned someone to work it. And then I set about building a hedge tower for more defense. While we weren't attacked much in this video, you do normally have to defend against blood moons every few days or so. No, not every 7 days, what a strange thing to ask. And I wanted to make sure that we had some kind of defensive buildings, even if they were probably not all that helpful. It also had the convenient bonus of adding defense to the fisherman's hut, which was outside of my patrol radius. It probably would have been cheaper and easier to just add it to the patrol radius, base, but I wanted to build something new. Anyway, I spent the night of day 10 at the culmination of my civilization figuring out how to actually eat fish and provide food for my settlers with it. You see, you can't just eat the fish. It's a fish. You eat an entire raw fish, you get sick. So you have to collect it from the fishing hut, drop it on the ground, stab it a few times, turn it into fish slices, hook those slices on a campfire with a barbecue upgrade, roast it, making sure not to burn it, and then store it in the barbecue. Yeah, the next settler I get, they're automating this process. That was also some NPC work right there. We did it. We had built a functioning town that was almost fully self-sufficient, with industry, food, and housing for my villagers. But it was pretty weak, and this is only like 10% of the way through the game. But to stop this video being like 4 hours long and taking 3 months to make, because I do have a deadline, it's a sponsored video, I had to cut it here. I did, however, continue to play it afterwards, and will continue to continue playing it afterwards, regardless of the sponsorship. I had a lot of fun in Aska, so thank you to the devs for sponsoring this video. I did not know about this game before they approached me to make this video. I think I had heard the name, but I never looked into what it was, but I'm glad they did, because I had a blast. It's like everything I ever wanted from Medieval Dynasty, but Vikings. As of writing this script, I've put about 13 hours in the game, and I plan on putting in a bunch more. I genuinely really enjoyed this game, so if you want to play at home, please do use the links in the description. It's currently 20% off, as I said earlier. It's a fantastic survival colony sim game, and yes, there are things for you to do and explore in the world. I'm just a weirdo. Anyway, if and when I make more content on Aska, it'll be appearing on screen right now. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching, and thank you to Aska for sponsoring the video again, and I'll see you in the next video.